Hello, so in the previous video I invited you to join us for Hacktoberfest, and I said I was going to show a few ways to help us in Kairos. The first thing I want to do is Kairos, it's a Linux distribution, and we offer different flavors, what we call flavors for those distributions. And for example, you will see here that we have the Ubuntu flavor, and you will see that we have 2004, 2204, 2404, but Docker Hub Ubuntu 2410 is already out. Let's have a look. 2410 is already out, as you can see. So one way you can contribute is extending the different flavors that Kairos produces. How would we do that? Well, first of all, you would need to clone our main repository. So be sure you've done that. You will need to have Docker installed in your system. You will need to have Earthly installed, Docker install. So you can follow the different documentation here. I'm not gonna do that. Well, I already have it done in my system. Earthly, you will see Earthly dev, I think it is. Earthly dev, yes. Earthly, which is a way to kind of have a mix of a make file and containers together. So those are the main things that you're going to need. And from that, the other thing that you need to know is, first of all, where the images are located. So here are our images definitions, and there are these files called Docker file, and there's the Ubuntu one, and this is what we're going to be extending. It looks a bit scary, but this is the scariest one. So if you can tackle this one, you can tackle any other one. Yeah, so let's get started. I have my terminal here, and I can say tmax attach session, and let's go with my Kairos session, clear. I use VI for development. So like I said, we want the images and we want the Ubuntu one. And this is really more of a chore. It's not a complex task to do. So it might sound a bit boring, but if you're just getting started with contributions to open source, this is actually a very healthy way to see how the project works, to understand how the community of the project connects, and to also understand the rules of how to contribute to that project. So to start, basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all the sections where I find 2404, and I am going to change them for 2410, and that's basically it. Very mechanical. Then afterwards we can see if there's a way to do a refactoring or something like that. So I'm going to also do the same for this one. Nice. Then same here. So one thing I just noticed is that the order is a bit not good. 2404, 2410, 2204. So that will be part of the refactoring. Let's first make it work. Also here, I'm just doing it mechanically. I'm not thinking much about it. So this one I am not going to change, because if I would docker run rmti, normally there is no Linux image generic HWE 2410, if I would understand correctly. So if I would spin Ubuntu 2410, and I would say apt update. We wait a little bit, apt search, and then we want this here. What do we get? Indeed, there is no 2410, so I don't need to change that part there. This stays, this stays. This one will need to be, oh, wait a second. So if this one doesn't need to be changed, it means that they both use the same one. Okay, but let's leave that for the refactoring, just to see that it's really a mechanical process first, and then we improve it. Sorry, first copy, then paste. I know I could move faster with VI, sorry. It's just how I have basically made my muscle memory at this point, so I'm not really going to relearn it much. But that's it. Let's see, generic Ubuntu 24.10. Yeah, that would be also interesting. This one I will not do because at the moment we can't produce 24.10, not even 2404 Raspberry Pi, so that's a different problem. We already don't have 2310, so we can remove that comment there. Same thing here. Again, very dumb way of doing this. Not really. Okay, and we're done, basically. Now, how do I run this? Basically, there is here a earth file, and the earth file, you will see that it has a base image. So this is the one that we need to ensure that it is working. You pass certain attributes to it, which are the ones that we see here. So let's just do that, earthly plus base image, and then we say, for example, for base image, well, we start with Ubuntu 24.10 for what else would be flavor. Well, let's start with family. Actually, family is the Ubuntu family. This will sound a bit weird, as in, let's say that, what is the difference between family and flavor? Well, family, for example, we have the rel family, and within the rel family, there is flavor Fedora, flavor Rocky Linux. Under the Ubuntu family, at the moment, we only have Ubuntu, but we could add Linux Mint, for example, and so on. So at the moment we put here Ubuntu, flavor release will be 24.10. Then what else do I need? The model, let's start with the generic one. And then the architecture will be by default AMD 64 because I'm running on AMD 64. And the variant, which is the last thing that I have to pass, is a core image. So I'm not going to put Kubernetes on it just yet. At the end of the day, if the base image is running, then probably installing Kubernetes is not going to be a problem. Then we let that run, and we see that it is successfully running. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look. So docker run rmti, this guy here, cat etc os release, and what do we see here? It's a 24.10 indeed. So I'm happy with that. If you want to do something similar, you can. I will continue doing the refactoring, but you don't have to continue watching if you want to get started with your own version. So let's first just create let's just create another branch, add Ubuntu 24.10 flavor. Okay, sounds good. And we are going to, let's see. Wow, I have a lot of stuff that I should just remove there. So let's just include this change and commit it for now. Git commit, sign off. What else do I need to pass? What am I going to say here? Add Ubuntu 24.10 flavor. All right. There we go. Nice. So now we can focus. I could push this already, but I want to finish the refactoring. Let's start with the ordering of things. I know that one of my colleagues prefers to have this in the opposite order, so let's do that. To start, I know it's a bit of a hassle here because the div is going to look a bit strange, but yeah, why not? That way we can also ensure that we do it everywhere else. So where else do I have 24.10? So 24.10 goes before 24.04. That's good. What else? 24.10 goes before 24.04. Yes, that's good. Same here. Okay. Now, this one is an interesting one because if you see the contents are exactly the same for those two. So I have two options. I could basically say that this image bases itself from, sorry about that, bases itself from kernel Ubuntu 24.04 and be done with it. But I know that when debugging, this is sometimes makes people wonder why is it like that. So what I prefer to do is to come up with a base image for both of them, so to speak. So base Ubuntu current, we could call it kernel Ubuntu current. Current being the one that is being developed, at least in terms of the Linux kernel, it would be the one for 24.04. And then when we do these two, instead of doing this, we just do base Ubuntu, kernel Ubuntu current. Kernel Ubuntu current. Yep. And that's it. Here we can again put everything in the order that now we're following. So I don't know, sometimes it's not a good idea to do both the refactoring of style and the refactoring of logic in the code, but yeah, in this case we're going to do it. That looks good. That looks good. We said we will not do the other one, the Raspberry Pi one. Now here we again have the same scenario. We call this Ubuntu latest, and now we have what does Ubuntu latest do? Ubuntu latest. Is anyone else depending on Ubuntu latest? No. Then why do we have a distinction between these two? I think we don't need to have it. Yeah, the difference is here Ubuntu Legacy and Ubuntu Latest. So we could really put this inside Ubuntu Latest, both of them. Ah, I wonder if this could be a problem with, yeah, for example, Ubuntu Legacy is consumed by this one and this one. Ubuntu Latest is really not consumed by anything else. I think that's really, it looks like a mistake to me, the fact that we didn't do it like that, but maybe there was a reason and it was just not documented. So let's do it in 2 steps, this part. I'm going to, like I did here, Ubuntu, let's call this, oh, sorry, I need the whole thing basically. Oops. Oh, come on. Also, those colors are bothering me. Oh, come on. Anyway, sorry about that. So let's go to better. That's a little bit better. So Ubuntu, let's call this Ubuntu. It's basically the cell Linux parts. Yeah, I should probably just keep it on the other one, but it doesn't matter. Let's do it in 2 steps, like I said. Ubuntu latest, say Linux. We're gonna call it, and then this one can be Ubuntu latest say Linux. Nothing here, and Ubuntu latest say Linux. Yeah, okay, now we run this again. Make sure that this is working. Ah, I broke it. Ubuntu latest say Linux. Ubuntu latest say Linux. Well, yeah, of course, because it's not Ubuntu latest say Linux, it's Ubuntu say Linux. But let's better add here latest. Okay. Hopefully this works, and if it does, then I would say I'm just gonna push this and open a PR, and that would be it. And the other refactoring could be done later, or maybe it's something that you would like to contribute to, right? All right, so that looks good. Let's look at the diff. Let's look at the diff. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good, yeah. So here's where we did the current part, and then we just added those 2, just moving things around, adding the cell Linux fix, and that's it. So looks good. Oops, there it is. Git status was good. So git commit sign off, and then refactoring. It will be squashed, so it's not a important message. Push, nope, okay, push origin, add Ubuntu 24.10 flavor. Fantastic. So now I can go, oops, not here. I can go here and have a look at this. This is the pull request, so I'm asking to add the flavor. It's not fixing anything at this moment. It's like I said, you don't need to have an issue that you want to tackle. You can just add your own feature or fix whatever. But of course, if you talk to us before, that's also nice, because then you can get an idea of how to solve it or whether a certain solution is expected or not. So yeah, basically the description is almost enough, I would say. 24.10 has already been available for a bit, and it would be nice to already include it in our pipeline. Oh, see, I realize I haven't added it to the pipeline, but that's a different topic, because some flavors we can have in our pipelines because we have the resources. Others, unfortunately, not. Like if it's a very niche or simply something that we don't get enough requests for, we won't be able to do it. This PR also cleans up a bit the order of the element of the flavors to always go from newest to oldest. Okay, that's good. But right before I get into that, where else would I need to add it? Let's see. 2404. I'm afraid this will come with a lot of results, but let's see anyway. I also need to run this. But this is something that you don't need to know. I mean, like, this is something we can tell you when you're working on the PR. That's it? No, that's not possible. Let's look at this build. No. I see. I cannot see it because it's part of the GitHub files, and those are hidden. So we can go here, Kairos, and GitHub, and workflows. And let's go, for example, the first one is the image PR. This one is running in Ubuntu 22 LTS, Ubuntu 24 LTS. So to start, I should probably add that one, just because that's the only way to look if it's working on the PR. So let's do that first. Okay. GitHub, workflows, and then here I said image PR. Okay, and Ubuntu latest, Ubuntu 22 LTS, Ubuntu 24 LTS. So maybe this one. Now, I don't know what's going to be better yet, to have 2410 here or 24 LTS. I would say 2410, just because the main pipeline will always have 24. So let's see. Reusable install test. Yes. How about we do this here? At the same time, it would be nice to have an LTS version done. And I don't see the 22 LTS done anywhere. Oh yeah, just the ZFS. Okay, let's just open the PR to see what feedback we get. To see if we should run all the tests on one or the other. That would be one thing to add. So let's add, this is the other file we needed. This is the PR. The workflow. So for image, I think I'm going to, this is what runs on master, 2404. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them being called. Okay. Oh, interesting. So why did we just add this instead of new GitHub flavors 2404? I don't know. I think we're going to need both these. Which ones? This standard, generic, core, AMD. So just not core ARM, I would say. I know, because it's also generic. So yes, we want all of them. And this is the problem with our pipeline, that whenever we add a flavor, you can see how it's adding a lot of, this will exponentially grow, right, because of the matrix that will be generated. Okay, anyway, let's try. So we have Ubuntu core generic, Ubuntu core generic ARM, Ubuntu standard generic AMD, Ubuntu core generic AMD, and finally Ubuntu core ARM AMD, generic AMD. So that looks good to me. Now that's it. Let's add the flavors too. I'm not sure how this one will look. I also don't know if we should already do releases with it. So let's leave that to the PR. Then I want to say here, add to pipeline. Okay. And then push. There we go. All right. So now let's open this PR. And that should be it. Create pull request. Now here, reviewers, you can say maintainers. That means that all of us maintainers will get a ping for that. You can assign yourself as label. We can put flavor because we're adding a flavor. I don't know if you have access to all of those things, but if you do, then just add them. Otherwise, we will add them, I guess. Then the project is going to be the issue tracking board. This is going to be on the review, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found a way to contribute to an open source project with this, and I hope you find some joy playing with Kairos. Till next time, ciao ciao.